Good morning, sunshine. It is Monday morning, and I'm doing a little Monday morning woods walk with my coffee. I had to take the kid out to run an errand, so I grabbed a really yummy coffee because if you're my friend on Facebook, you've seen my kitchen. I'm trying to stay out of it as much as possible right now because it provokes a deep and sudden anxiety attack. So I'm just out walking in the woods. I'm here. You know what? I'm going to flip this around and give you a little woods love. Just kind of whatever your Monday morning is feeling like. Just take a little deep breath with me. I swear, before we moved to the woods, I was really a beach person, and I swore that I would always be a beach person. And the woods have really won me over. Really won me over. Anywho, I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite things to practice, which is detachment from outcome. And I'll give you a little personal story and background to start. Well, first of all, detachment from outcome is a really important tool to practice because it means that while, of course, and I'm going to use businesses as an example because that's what this page is about, growing a business that you love and that has the impact that you want it to have and gives you the income that you want to have. But detachment from outcome is a really neat tool to desire an outcome, yet not be emotionally shattered when it doesn't work. So I'll give you a concrete example because abstracts don't work for my brain very well. When you're doing a sales call or a consult call or something like that, you can show up with every intention to be present, to hold space for your prospective client, and to allow that either they will sign up with you or they will not. And either way, it's going to be fine. And you are attached to the best possible outcome for both of you without being emotionally invested in whether or not they sign up with you. That's detachment from outcome. When I'm doing magical spells or prayers, I generally say this or something better. And that's sort of my way of being detached from outcome. When I show up for a prospect call with a prospective client, I intend to show up to guide them to whatever is going to be best for them and in their best interest. If they sign up to work with me, that's amazing. If they don't, I don't take it personally and it's not this big letdown. That's detachment from outcome. So when I decided to move to Maine, I came up here for a week to try to find an apartment without the kid. I left her in New York City. And I went on one date with Sully, who's now my husband. We went to an old bar that doesn't exist anymore. We had one beer. I decided that I totally didn't like him. He decided that I totally didn't like him and that there was no spark. And we left the bar and we walked away from each other for a year. And about a year later, I was living in Portland and I had been dating, but I was just it was winter in Maine, my first winter in Maine. And I was really lonely and just kind of dating a little bit frantically, really invested in just finding my person. I was lonely. I had a 7-year-old, I had a dog, and I was just fucking lonely. And it was beginning to feel a little bit frantic. And I was, the frantic kind of dating where you're like, well, I can probably make this work. I can probably make this work. And then at a certain point, I just decided, you know what? I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm good. Another person would also be fun, but I'm good the way that I am. And I really settled in. I made some good friends. I found something to do with the long nights. I nestled into our new home. And I was just fucking good. I'm okay. Someone else is icing on the cake. But if someone else never comes, then we're going to be absolutely fine. And of course, that's when Sully and I messaged each other again and went out on a lunch date and have been together ever since. And that was about a year after the first date, the first failed date. And I've found that in my business, when I'm super, super invested in and attached to a specific outcome, whether it's like a certain number of people in a course or a client, a prospective client coming on, wow, I look really white. When I'm really invested in that outcome, it feels icky. It's really draining. And good morning, Sabrina. And then I'm like crushed and I take it really personally if the outcome that I'm desiring doesn't happen. Whereas when I am just like, I trust that my job is to show up and do the best that I can do. And whatever happens, I am dedicated to the best possible outcome for both of us as possible. And because I'm showing up in prospect calls, for instance, to guide women to their next best steps, I allow room that for some of them that won't be working with me. For about 80% of them, by the time they get to a prospect call, it is working with me. But if not, I'm committed to their best possible outcome for that call. And that really removes a lot of the stress and attachment and like clinginess to controlling a specific outcome that feels really freeing. I can just kind of show up and be me and do the thing that I do and channel my guides and that sort of thing. So yeah, drop comments below. Yay, Sabrina, I'm so excited that this is serendipitous for you. I mean, yeah, it's not like this is an easy thing, but for me it's way easier to have worked on detachment from outcome than it is to struggle with attachment to outcome, which makes me really controlling and like it's a very constrictive feeling. Like I'm scared, I'm controlling things, I'm not trusting. Whereas detachment from outcome, I understand that I'm safe, which is really, honestly, when we talk about control issues, you guys, the underlying fear that motivates control issues is generally I'm not safe. That's why, especially those of us with a trauma background, we control because it makes us feel safe. So working on detachment to outcome, as usual, this is not just a set of outer exercises. This is inner work. This is the inner work of understanding that in your business, in your world, you are ultimately safe. And everything good that happens is icing on the cake, but you're going to be okay if whatever you're feeling attached to doesn't happen. And that's really the underlying inner work of this, your safety in your business, in your world, in your life. And then working on this or something better, which is, again, one of my favorite mantras in prayer and spell work. This or something better. So I hope this has been helpful for you. This is one of the things, I love the comments. Thank you so much for comments. Comments let me know that you're listening and that this is resonating for you and that I'm talking to someone instead of just walking in the woods like a crazy woman talking in her phone. Yeah. Any questions that you guys have? I'm going to tune out and put my hands in my pocket because, of course, I forgot to bring gloves and my hands are freezing. But definitely add questions below. Please share this video if it resonates with you or tag women that you want to see it in the comments below. These 30 videos in 30 days are really they're my love song to you. They're my wooing and courting of you as my community and my way to connect with you since we're all stuck in our homes for the most part. So I'm kind of putting myself out there to serve you and connect with you and, make friends and just be of service. So if you know someone for whom this video would really click, please tag them in the comments below. I will see some of you on the workshop, the Focus Pocus workshop tomorrow night. Oh my God, if you've gotten my emails, every time I send out the link to register, it works when I click it. And then 2 emails in a row, it doesn't work when you guys click it. And I'm ready to scream. So if you're trying to sign up for the Focus Pocus workshop tomorrow night and the frigging link is broken, just shoot me a message and I'll tell you how to pay. I don't understand because it's working when I put it in the newsletter. It's a Mercury in retrograde thing. This Mercury in retrograde has been really tricky for me, obviously. Anyway, I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Thank you for tuning in live or watching the replay. And hit me up if you're trying to register for the workshop at last minute and you just can't get the link to work.